Hey everyone, welcome to our latest episode of AI Insights with me, Jonathan Blaber, heading up the AI practice for Eden Smith, connecting AI talent with some of the UK's well-known brands. Today we have a very special guest with us. Her name is Rosanne Werner. She is ex Coca-Cola digital transformation lead. She specializes in AI culture, making sure the human element is involved, and also is my wingman at networking events. So she is the perfect person to co-partner with in an event. She introduces me to all of her contacts and she just works the room, constantly smiling. So real privilege to have got to know Rosanne over the last few months for sure. So welcome to the show, Rosanne.
Thank you, Jonathan. What an intro.
I know, right? I know. I've been practicing that one. Um, so welcome to the show. Obviously, we wanted to bring you on because you've got some really interesting topics to talk about. Everyone's talking about AI, but everyone's talking about how to make sure we're keeping the human in the loop, right? So, and this is what, typically you've built your business around. So I'd love to firstly introduce you and for you to kind of give our audience a bit of a picture of what you do and where you come from, that kind of thing.
Yes, of course. So, yes, my name's Rosanne Werner. I'm the CEO of XcelerateIQ. So, we're a data and AI mindset and culture consulting company. And like Jonathan said, I have spent um, my last couple of years in Coca-Cola doing their data and digital AI mindset program. We've won lots of awards, and it's a global program that's reached over 2,000 people across the globe. So, great legacy left there. I really enjoyed what I did there, and there's a big need in terms of the market on the whole data and AI enablement. It's all about being able to use and adopt the tools and the people element, having that people first approach. So, how do we help our teams on embracing data and AI to help them with their roles so that they can focus more on the important things in life?
Well, it's a really important topic, right? Because you can go through all of these technology transformations, you can make all these nice glossy AI tools, but if the human isn't at the forefront, you're not going to utilize the transformation ultimately is going to fail, right? What's your thoughts?
Exactly. And there's a law called the Martech law where technology is increasing, accelerating, it's at pace faster than what organizations can absorb the change. So you can't do everything, you can't adopt every new technology that's out there. And this is where the whole people in the loop and keeping the people on board with the change in the journey is so important because eventually they're the ones that are using the tools. And if they're not using the tools, the companies are spending so much money on cleaning up their data, building the architecture behind it. And then that is the foundation of good AI tools. And if you don't have good data, your AI tools will give you bad results at the end of the day. So there's big investment that's been made in those technology areas, but the real value is coming from the people using the tools for decision making, using the tools to help enhance their work so that they're more productive and they can focus more on the things that are more creative, that things that AI can't replicate.
Very interesting, Roseanne. So, from your opinion, what are the current challenges with the adoption and the utilization of AI?
Yeah, I think I think with the challenges with AI integration these days, I think businesses need to ask themselves like three really key questions. And the first one I always say is like, what is the real problem we're trying to solve here? I've seen so many companies dive into AI initiatives. They want to stay up to date with their competitors. They want to keep up with the latest trends. But without that clear understanding of the problem they're trying to solve, this leads to like poorly designed solutions, it doesn't meet the needs of the business, or it's been built and it only gives a little bit of value, which is a real frustrating waste of time, resource, and money. So, what is the specific problem you're trying to solve? And then break that down and identify whether AI is even the suitable tool for that, for the job.
So who, I mean, when you've gone through lots of journeys like this before. So, how do you get to that understanding of, right, this is the real business problem? How do you typically approach that?
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say let's start with your your company strategic goals and objectives, and then also understand whether there's any legal or ethical implications of it. And then when you look at the processes that are involved, so you've got your business problem to solve, the business value that it will bring, then I say break it down, make it into small specific components of it, of the process that you want to improve, and then see if AI is the tool for it. Sometimes people spend a lot of money on building AI tools. Actually, it, it would have been quicker and more cost effective with another tool that's not AI. So for example, if we're thinking about Coca-Cola, for example, so one of the strategic goals is how do we improve customer experience and repeat business? And then, okay, how do we break this down? So improving customer experience is we want to improve the store experience. So what's it like when you walk into a store? For me, when I go in and I've got my eye on something and I'm beelining for the Diet Coke aisle, it's no more frustrating than going in there and it's out of stock. So you're breaking down that process in terms of, okay, the problem is how do we improve the percentage of the shelves that are sufficiently stocked? So then that requires understanding what products are understocked and then how to address that in a timely manner. So how do we leverage then AI to solve this business problem? How do we distinguish between the stocked items and then the empty shelves, and then identifying products that are low in stock or are missing, and then how do we streamline that process so that notifications are triggered to reorder and restock before it happens? So, I mean, Walmart had a similar case where the robots were scanning the shelves to trigger the reorder. And I think you can see these type of robots in the convenience stores in Japan as well. So focus on the problem that you're trying to solve. What is the business value? And then breaking down that process into specific components that you want to improve.
That's so interesting. I love the Coca-Cola example as well. What would they like to work for, by the way? Such a great brand, and it's quite a topic at the moment because it's Christmas, and one of the TV adverts I love looking for is the Coca-Cola Christmas advert. But
Yes.
yeah, how was your time there?
I loved working there. I spent 10 years
Wow.
working at Coca-Cola. And as you say, the Christmas time is always such a buzz. And they usually ask, people that work in the office to go out with the field sales team to help stock the shelves. And I've really enjoyed those moments because you get to experience the buzz of Christmas and the shops, but then also you see the product flying off the shelves at Christmas time, and understand how what you're doing on a day-to-day basis in the office affects how that product's been sold, how it's been marketed, really kind of connects that product with what you're doing. So it was always a really good time around Christmas,
I
maybe
bet it
apart
is.
from Mariah Carey playing on repeat at the shops. But it's a good way to it was a good way to bond with the brand and help a big cross collaboration across the company. You'll have people from supply chain, from finance, from legal, all stocking shelves, and it was a really great way to learn from each other in that way as well.
Yeah, that's honestly such a great journey you've had. And What was the kind of I guess the light bulb moment for you where you kind of thought, you know what, there's a real demand here in the future where we just need to get people on board with AI? I mean, what was, what was your thinking behind that? How comes you got to where you are now?
Yes. So I set up the data and AI mindset and culture program at Coca-Cola, and that was the first it was the first across the board program that was on data and AI. And setting up that program, there was such a pull in terms of people wanted to upskill in terms of the understanding of the data. How can data help my job? What's my role to play in this whole data strategy? And it was really enlightening getting that program up and running. It's not just the data literacy, data learning side, but then how do we put that into action? The program was called Data in Action, and it was basically using that data and making better decisions based on that data, and then driving the business value. So it was a really good journey, and I got to a point where, networking with other data leaders in the industry as well, it was a really key need, in terms of, yes, they have spent the investment on data, they've invested on data analytical tools, but it was the people element that, people don't change overnight. They need that help with adopting new technology and shifting those habits and behaviors. So I decided, well, I've done 10 years at Coca-Cola, great company, great legacy built up in that program. There was a big need in the market to help other companies and people on this journey. So I decided to give it a shot and invest in myself, because it was also something, a big passion of mine, to see the light bulb moments when people were able to use data for their work. So a bit of business, bit of personal achievement there as well.
Yeah, I mean, you can see how passionate you are as well. I've seen you speaking at, conferences and networking events like AI for the rest of us, which I thought was just a brilliant event. For someone that's non-technical like myself, is really easy to understand and follow. You mentioned a lot about, you know, people, people being, are our people ready to adopt, AI? Are we ready for this transformation? Is there any advice you can maybe give to CEOs, owners, founders that are potentially looking at going on this journey, but what do they need to think about in terms of the human element just to make sure it's successful?
Yes. So a common mistake I see is a common thing I see in senior leaders is that they think data is a technology problem, and by investing in a new shiny tool would solve the issues. And te like, data is a strategic business issue. Everyone in the company has a role to play in terms of their role in terms of creating data that is of good quality, that goes into the system. So the systems and the tools that use that data is of good quality. And I also see, like, it's, as much as senior leaders are being measured on their performance results, it's also important that they're also being held accountable for the data quality within their domains. So then everyone's responsible for the data that is being created in their own teams. They're the domain experts of that data, and then they know whether that data is of good quality or not. And so it's just kind of like starting from the leaders in terms of the strategic business issue of data as an asset, and then how does that translate into the team's day-to-day working routines, so that you're shifting behaviors and mindset around the use of data, how people interact with data, how people view data, and it becomes a mindset and culture that data is important. It is part of my role to make sure that what I'm creating, what I'm using is of importance of the bigger picture.
Love that. Such a good answer as well, by the way, Rosanne. I think, yeah, in any leader that's looking to adopt AI needs to, 100%, Keep the human at the forefront of your thinking, because without us, things just won't get implemented, right? So, in terms of future work and skills that are needed from humans to really adopt AI, what where's the market heading in terms of skill set?
Yeah. So I'd say I'd say a lot of AI is probably taking a lot of, you can see AI doing a lot of coding and all that stuff now. So quite a lot of the technical skills, yes, they're important, but what we're finding is that a lot of the soft power skills, so things like being curious with your data or curious with the AI tools. How do you think creatively on how data can solve the problems, or creatively around how, okay, well, uh, I've generated this prompt. What if I change this prompt in this word? What result would that result in? And that whole creativity, critical thinking, when we generate results out of the analytical tools or the AI tools, are we thinking critically about what the data is telling us, what are the insights telling us? Do the AI generated content have any bias or hallucination? It's really like thinking critically of the outputs. So these soft skills are really important now, especially with AI being able to take a lot of the grunt work out of routines. And it's now the soft skills and things like empathy and collaboration and communication that is so important now in terms of working with the AI, but then also being able to work collaboratively across the functions and across the organizations. So and so I guess the future skills is like, what are the soft power skills that help us leverage the outputs of data and AI and help us really, really advance in the productivity side of things.
Yeah, I mean, I think one thing for me is that because when I used to run my own business, we brought a lot of automation into the business, and at the very start, I mean, the consultants that were working under me were a little bit like, wow, I've got so much more time on my hands. How, this is new to me. How do I, what do I do with my spare time? And I think it's, would you say that's a big part for businesses to understand, right? How do I maximize the full potential out of my staff, and use AI to work alongside them to increase maximum performance? So do you kind of agree with that? Did you have any opinions there?
Exactly. So things like a really good use case I've seen is like fraud detection and them using AI through pattern recognition to pull out like fraudulent activities. But then the teams that are working in those teams now have more time to investigate in more kind of like the grey areas that the machine learning and the AI can't really make a decision on just yet, and that then gives them more time to do the investigation and do the more expertise work that they're trained on, to then make those decisions. Similar to medical in terms of AI reviewing a lot of the images for cancer cells, and then the medical specialists are now having more time to identify the grey areas where the machine couldn't have picked up. So it's really allowing humans to do the more like human expertise judgment side of things, than and leaving helping AI to AI helping us to do all the grunt work, and leaving us time to do the more valuable adding work.
Yeah, so like the I guess the repetitive tasks, that kind of thing. Yeah, AI is great for, and it allows us to do. You have to forgive me for saying this, but the more sexy tasks, right? The more enjoyable tasks, maybe that the people are more passionate about. Um,
Exactly. Uh,
exactly. So,
just
um,
just things like at the end of a team meeting, it's just typing out the team notes, the team meeting notes, and then sending that out. And it's like AI can do that within seconds, and then people can focus their time on actually doing the outputs of that meeting.
100%. I obviously I'm very much immersed into this market in terms of recruiting for certain skills, but I have a genuine passion for AI, and one of the things that really excites me about this market is that it is the next boom, right? It's here, it's clearly here to stay, and I think now is a critical time on how businesses adopt AI and make it work with the human. That's why I feel like your business model is so interesting, Rosanne, and I think one that will be hugely successful. So I'm going to wish you all the best, but I don't think you need that at all. Thank you so much again for joining us
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
on this episode, and a clap for Rosanne Werner. Thank you very much. Thanks for listening to another episode of AI Insights with me, Jonathan Blaber, heading up our AI recruitment practice at Eden Smith. If you'd like to find out more, please visit our website, find me on LinkedIn, or email me at jonathan.blaber@edensmith.co.uk. Thanks again for listening.